Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Zoom tonight. Tonight's Zoom is going to be an informational Zoom on LifeWave stem cell activation technology and some of the other patches, as well as a Q&A. So I want you to have your questions ready. Of course, I'll go over all the basics. I'll give you the frequently asked questions here at the beginning so we can kind of knock those out. I know you guys are going to ask a lot of great questions tonight. You can go ahead and get started typing your questions in the chat if you want, if you have specific questions already, or of course you can always wait until I'm done with the Q&A. I will have some time a little bit later also for you to be able to unmute yourself if you would rather do that as well. So if you want to write those questions down, feel free. But I will start by sharing, because I know there are a lot of people on here that don't know who I am. And so my name is Dr. Stacy Holweger, and I will let you know that I have a PhD in integrative medicine. I'm working on my PhD in functional med right now. So I am not a medical doctor. So any of the information that I'm sharing with you tonight is going to be for your information. And of course, we will share with you the research and the data as well too, but I'm not here to diagnose or to treat, or of course to claim to cure anything that's going on. As always, check with your medical professional, healthcare provider if you have any questions, right? So with that, I want to share this amazing technology with you. So this company is called LifeWave. LifeWave has been around for 20 years. The inventor of this technology, his name is David Schmidt, and he started the company 20 years ago when he was working for the Navy SEALs. And of course, you know who the Navy SEALs are, right? The baddest men on the planet. So he was working for our Department of Defense, and he was inventing things on subs for the SEALs. All different types of stuff. He's an inventor, scientist, researcher, and he actually has a degree in biology from Pace University. He's been inventing things since he was teeny tiny. But he was asked to invent something for the SEALs to increase their sustainability, their endurance, and their stamina. They were on caffeine, amphetamines, and uppers, and not having the best quality of life. And so he invented a patch called Energy Enhancer. This patch right here, 20 years ago, this triggers beta oxidation, and guess what? Turns body fat into fuel. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about turning body fat into fuel. It does turn over your lymphatic system, and so it helps fantastically with energy, endurance, and stamina throughout the day without using any kind of caffeine or any kind of stimulants to get your body going and moving, right? Of course, no side effects. But what happened was 20 years ago, going so well for the SEALs. Everything was fantastic. They were having better quality of life. And then, of course, 9/11 happened. And the Department of Defense took a very different turn to protect our country and to bear more arms. And so David was no longer needed with them on mission. And so he thought, you know what, this was a great idea. Obviously downloaded by the divine to invent something like this that's never been invented before on the planet. And he decided to start his own company, LifeWave. And so over the 20 years, David has invented a dozen patches. So I'm not going to go over every single patch with you tonight. I have been asked to do a Zoom where I just highlight the main key points of each patch and what they do. And I will do that at a different time, but I want to make sure this is a Q&A for you guys. So basically, over the last 20 years, these dozen patches that have been invented do very different specific things, but yet all using the same technology with light therapy or phototherapy, photobiomodulation. And I'll describe that here in just a second. But it took him 10 years in the lab. Can you imagine working on something for 10 years to try to figure it out? Never giving up, because he knew the power of what it would do to help people have a better quality of life. And that's the main patch that I'm going to talk to you about tonight. That is the X39, the stem cell activation patch. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start. Obviously, the company started with the energy enhancer, and it's still amazing patch today, but I'm going to start by talking to you about this. And so the X39 stem cell activation patch is our workhorse of the patches. It's only been out for 3 years, but know that it produces massive results and massive benefits. So how does it work? What does it look like? What does it do? How is it going to help me? All of those things I'm going to answer for you. So this is what the patch looks like. It looks like a little round Band-Aid. See that? It's sticky on this side right here. Okay, so this is a non-transdermal patch. I'm sure you're familiar with transdermal patches, nicotine patch, birth control patch, estrogen patch, pain patch. All of those are putting something into your body, a chemical or a substance, in the hopes that something is going to happen, right? Well, this does not work that way. This patch works with your body's light or heat that we emit. So right now, not where Lillian is, but where Yvonne and I are on the East Coast, it's dark outside. And so if we went outside, we could not see our neighbors unless we were looking through night vision goggles. Then we would see the outline of the person because of the heat or the light that's being emitted, maybe red, yellow, green, blue. We would see the colors of the people or animals. I live out in the woods. Yvonne lives in a subdivision, and so she's got people outside walking around all the time. I'm worried about the bobcat that lives in my woods. So I'm hoping I don't see that thing at night when I go to let my poodle out. But this works with our body's heat. And so what happens is, if you feel yourself, you're 98.6, right? Right? We emit a low-level infrared light. And so when you apply this patch to the body, our body's light or heat reflects back a signal from that patch. And that signal increases, activates, elevates, and mobilizes your own stem cells. Now, many of you are probably familiar with stem cells. Stem cells are the holy grail of healing, right? You had an abundance of them when you were younger. That's why kids have boundless amounts of energy. They go nonstop. They can be in a crowded room and fall on the floor and just go to sleep and never miss a beat, right? They just go, 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 go. Energy out the wazoo. If Johnny falls out of the tree and breaks his arm, he's up and running the next day because he has so many stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate his body. Well, by the time we're in our 30s, we're making half of the stem cells that we did as a child. Have you ever started I don't know how many guys are in your 30s right now. I can't see you all, obviously. But if you walk in the room and you're like, wait, why did I go in that room? And you turn around, walk back out to try to trigger yourself again. What's happening there? That's not normal. Kids don't do that. What about aches and pains? You get up in the morning, you're like, oh, I don't feel so great. My back hurts, right? Maybe your quality of sleep is not as great, or maybe your mental clarity, your focus is kind of fading a little bit. And so that's because your body's making less stem cells. Well, how many of you on here are in your 60s or more? You're making less than 10% stem cells. We know this because of your blood, right? We can look at stem cells in your blood. And so if you're in your 60s, there's less than 10%. By the time you're in your 70s, there's none left, no stem cells. So what does that mean? Well, it means your body's ability to repair and regenerate and rejuvenate and restore itself has declined. It's degeneration. Our body is degenerating. And so, when you cut your finger or when you break a bone, it's not the Band-Aid or the cast that repairs the self. It's the stem cells. Your body has its own innate ability to know how to heal itself. Remember I said Johnny falls out of the tree, breaks his ribs, he takes off running. Grandma falls out of bed and breaks a hip. She's not getting back up because her body doesn't have the stem cells on board to go to work to repair and regenerate, which is why you see the healing time, if it even happens, takes so long. And so this technology allows anybody, no matter what your age is, to activate, elevate, and mobilize your own stem cells. Those stem cells are also reset. A third of the genes are reset to their perfect, divine, young, youthful state. And so we know genes express to other genes. That compound effect is huge in your body. So wearing this patch, you actually get up in the morning, you put it on the back of your neck, CV7, or below your belly button, and you're going to leave it on 12 hours. And during that time, it's activating your stem cells to go to work to repair and regenerate, rejuvenate all your cells and tissues and organs in whatever order you need. Like I said, your body has its own innate ability to know how to heal itself. It's just not having the same tools that it had before, right? Those have declined. And so this technology helps your body to literally stop that aging process and reverse the functionality of your cells and tissues and organs. And I like to talk about a grocery list, right? So if you were to write down on your notepad right now, all of your problems, your sleep, your mental, your physical, your energy, your skin, your digestion, your stress level, we have what's called a health tracker. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. If not, the person that invited you can send you one. But this basically goes through everything I just said about the stem cell activation patch, literally to a T, and tells you exactly where to apply it and allows you to track yourself, right? And track your progress. So you write down your grocery list of problems. You start using the patch and you can start crossing off those issues, right? Those symptoms. Remember, I said we're not going to talk about any diseases or disorders. We're not here to treat or cure anything. I'm going to talk to you about the systems in the body and the organs in the body and how this technology can help bring things back into homeostasis. So what do people notice first? It's what they always want to know. When am I going to feel something? Right? Well, I don't know that you're going to feel anything on day one. Okay. About 50% of the people do notice something. My husband could tell a little bit of energy, maybe a little bit of tingling on day one. I didn't feel anything for 3 weeks. Nothing. But guess what? It was working. Like, you don't feel your hair growing or your fingernails growing, right? But you know it's working because it's working. It's technology, right? It's proven. We have clinical studies, right? Over 90 clinical studies, double-blind, placebo, independent labs and researchers across the globe done with people. Real people, not in petri dishes. So we can see the effectiveness of this. So I knew it was working. I just didn't know exactly what was happening inside because I couldn't feel it. I can't feel my heart repairing or my liver repairing or my spleen or my kidneys. You don't feel those things, right? But some people do notice things. They notice pain reduction. They notice a deeper quality of sleep. I know when I put this on Laura, in 20 minutes, her shoulder pain, she had more mobility. The pain had reduced dramatically. I put it on her husband and he had the best night's sleep he'd ever had in his entire life that night. I don't know why, right? It's just what happened for them. But people do experience more mental clarity, energy, focus, concentration. I have people tell me all the time, I've got more done in 2 weeks than I've gotten done in 2 years. What is in this stuff? And I'm like, nothing. It's a proprietary blend of amino acids and salts and water and sugars and oxygen. It forms a crystal lattice. Our body communicates with that lattice, light communicating with light. It's signaling peptides, increasing your body's GHKCU, collagen, upregulating those genes, increasing stem cells. Laura has put a website in there in the chat for you at startx39now.com. You can go here and see all of this information, plus look at all the studies on that website. But we do know from clinical studies that 80% of the people are going to experience pretty significant improvements in the first 3 to 6 weeks. They're going to see improvements in their nervous system and their digestive system, their immune system, of course, the things that I already mentioned, right? And then we start to see really big improvements in the heart, the vascular system around 6 weeks. Now, I know we only have one heart, right? Well, guess what? You got to have it to live. And we know that the #1 killer is heart disease. And so knowing that this technology, proven clinical studies with people's heart, improves the functionality of the heart. Every 6 weeks, your heart functions 8 weeks younger. I don't know about you all, but I'm all for having a young, youthful heart. And I actually do have one. I had my biomarkers done. Everybody's asking me this because I talk about it all the time. What are biomarkers? How do you get your biomarkers tested? Well, I'm just going to tell you, I do not test biomarkers. Okay. I went to my naturopathic doctor, just like Laura went to hers and many other people have went to theirs. And you ask to have your biomarkers tested. They can look, if you look at functional medicine, you can look at each different organ or system in the body, and you can do different types of blood work to be able to test the functionality and the age or the functionality of that system or that organ. And so go ask your naturopathic doctor. Don't ask your MD. They probably won't know. Or your functional med doctor if they can test your biomarkers. But our tech shows with this patch that every 6 months, your cellular age can reverse by up to 8 years. And so we're seeing that in people. Myself personally, 6 months in, I was 17 years younger. Laura had hers tested at 12 months in. She showed 20 years younger. So we're all different, obviously, in what's happening in our body. But knowing that this technology has the ability to not only be able to improve the things on your list, right? Your sleep and your pain and your mental and all that stuff, it literally has the ability to help your body get back into homeostasis, which means balance, which means better quality of life. And that's what this is about. This is about you living your best life, feeling the best. And like I said, I know that grocery list is long for a lot of you. I work with so many people all over the globe, and people are suffering. They're dealing with a lot of things. And I hate that for people. I just do. And it's, you know, a lot of times a compound effect, lifestyle, diet, injury, illness, surgery, stress, right? Accidents, things happen. And one thing leads to the next, and you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know until you're like, okay, I've tried everything else and nothing's working. I was Zooming with a man in Singapore right before this, and he said, I'm just really skeptical. How do I know this is going to work? And I said, well, you have nothing to lose, right? You only have time on your hands. So you can either, you know, try this and see what it does for you and work on getting younger, or you can continue to age. It's totally up to you. And he's like, I'm going to give it a shot. He came to share then that he had had some complications after some things that he was in the hospital and has some lung issues and still is dealing with some residual from that. And he looks like a super fit guy, right? And he said, yeah, I'm going to need to give these a try because he's tried all kinds of other things, right? And that's probably where you are too. You've tried a lot of things. You've done a lot of things medically. You've done a lot of things holistically, or maybe you're just starting to dabble in holistic types of modalities. But just so you know, I have researched stem cells for 20 years. I banked both of my kids' cord blood before that was a thing. Their cord blood is stored in a cryo facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, and I've also spent over 10 years doing different types of stem cell therapy with my daughter in and out of the country. I was Zooming with a doctor in San Diego today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been out there 3 times. We went across the border to Tijuana to do stem cell therapy with a Beverly Hills doctor 3 different times. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so familiar with that doctor. Yes, so real legit things are happening right out there in the world. And she was offering stem cell therapy in her practice, but has been not allowed to use those injections anymore. And so she said, I'm very interested in using this tech with my clients because it's affordable. It's not $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. It's literally the price of a cup of coffee. And I'll share this with you. And just like we talked today, there are no side effects with this patch. There's nothing harmful, nothing toxic, nothing going into the body at all. So there's 0 interactions or contraindications to anything that you are doing. Okay. And I did have someone sent me a message earlier, Louise. She said, can you talk about immunosuppressants? Because a lot of people are on different types of medications because of autoimmune disorders. And so I want to talk to you about immunosuppressants in 2 different ways. So let me address that real quick, and then I'll get to the questions in the chat, and then we can go from there. But first off, when I talk about you do not want to use the X39 stem cell activation patch if you are on serious immunosuppressant drugs for organ transplants. If you have a heart or a kidney or a lung or a liver in your body that did not belong to you at birth, you are on serious immunosuppressant medication so that your body does not reject that foreign organ. Then you would not use the stem cell activation patch, okay? If you're on some type of immunosuppressants for an autoimmune disorder, that's totally different, okay? So very different than trying to suppress the body from rejecting an organ, the amount that's going into the body medicine-wise, right? So you're okay to use this technology if you're on an immunosuppressant for an autoimmune. And honestly, we work with people every single day, lots and lots and lots of them that have autoimmune issues. I'm not going to speak specifically to autoimmune disorders or diseases, but looking at the systems in the body and how these patches work. I'll just kind of share this as a blanket. So we would definitely use the X39 stem cell activation patch. We would use the Eon. Eon is a patch that reduces inflammation. We always start here. Okay, this is the #1 selling patch we had for 10 years because inflammation is the root cause of disease in the physical body. We want to address the root cause, which is inflammation in the body. And so when we can increase the stem cell production at the same time that we are reducing inflammation, you set the body up for a more rapid, dramatic healing experience. Okay? And so it's really important that you understand these 2 work amazingly together. We call these the dynamic duo. So when you ask me about anything with your body, anything at all, we're going to start here no matter what. We can use these patches both every single day, back of the neck, below the belly button, one on one place, one on the other, both together. It doesn't matter. You're going to put them on in the morning. You're going to leave them on 12 hours. This is going to help with anxiety and stress. It's going to put your body in a parasympathetic state, calm, rest, digest. It's also going to address those inflammatory markers in the body to help reduce inflammation many different ways. Super important. These 2 work so well together. Okay, so then when we look at other types of things going on with the body, when we look at different types of symptoms from autoimmune, we also look at glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. It's the master detoxer. It's the master immune booster. If you have issues with your immune system, glutathione. If you have a toxic overload in your body, most people do from food and from our environment and our water, then glutathione. The oldest people on the planet have the highest level of glutathione. And we also know that most people don't have a very high glutathione level at all.
Excuse me. Can you put your hand behind it so I can see that, like, how to spell that? I'm writing them down.
Okay.
So the glutathione. Oh, hey, that's better. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, and you can also get with the person that invited you. They can definitely send you the PDF of the patch summary sheet so you can see all the patches so you can write them down. Yeah. So basically glutathione is something that we all need as the master antioxidant, detox, or immune booster. We're very familiar with glutathione, probably as an IV push or maybe even as a supplement. They're going to increase your glutathione level by about 20%. It has a 7-minute half-life, where our tech actually increases your glutathione by 300%, sustaining it for a 24-hour period. That means big antioxidants going into your body to eliminate free radicals. It means it's going to improve your health, your quality of life, right? Also works fantastic if you have arthritis, aches and pains, coats your joints. So definitely that patch would be fantastic when you're looking at different types of autoimmune symptoms. And then the other thing I would like to share with you guys, if I can find that patch here, is SP6. SP6 is somewhere around here. I don't know, but it looks like this. It is a patch that balances your endocrine system. And so this patch is very beneficial. Here it is for people that are dealing with different types of endocrine system issues, thyroid and adrenals and things like that, and organs. This is very important for your organs. And so we use this patch as well in conjunction with that. And so those are kind of a few of the basic there that we talk about. But I'm going to answer some questions that are in the chat, and then we can go from there. So somebody asked, is there a patch that covers all things, or do they need to be purchased separately for specific symptoms? So that's a great question. So you can use the X39 stem cell activation patch. You can use this patch every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month. General rule of thumb is 1 month for every 10 years you are old. So if you're 50, 5 months, 60, 6 months, 77 months, right? Maybe even longer you'll need it. Depends on what's going on in your body, how your body repairs. Everybody's very different. Remember, we don't have one set way that our body repairs. And because of what's going on, it depends on time. But know that, yes, you can just use this patch. Stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate every cell, tissue, and organ in your body. Why do we use other patches? Because they work individually with different peptides, and they work synergistically with each other to be able to help achieve success faster. Most people want everything fixed in 30 days, but yet they've had problems for 20 years. So it just doesn't work that way, right? When you go to your maybe OBGYN, you talk about your hormones, they're like, don't even talk to me until 90 days. They start you on a birth control or maybe a bioidentical hormone, something like that. And I'm saying this from past experience, right? When I had children and they're like, don't talk to me for 90 days. It's going to take 90 days for your hormones to even think about balancing out. And so, of course, we work very closely with our clients and helping making sure everybody is achieving success. But know that you can use other patches to help speed up that process, because you are targeting a very different set of systems in the body, different ways. And so when you can do that synergistically, you can achieve success faster. Someone asked about weight loss. So we do have X39, X49. Clinical studies show that this combo produces 11% body fat reduction in 60 days. So of course, when you're reducing body fat, you're typically losing weight, right? We do have a tummy reduction protocol as well too. And so you can use that to reduce the tummy. And again, of course, sometimes people do lose weight from that as well too, but not specifically a weight loss patch, because we're not putting anything in the body. We would look at, of course, using the stem cell activation patch. You can use the X49. We would look at reducing inflammation. We would look at balancing your endocrine system. Very important for weight loss. And yes, like Kimberly said, SP6 suppresses food cravings and helps boost your metabolism as well. Within With X39, help with methylation for those with sojourns. Today was my first patch. So again, I cannot speak directly to a specific disease because we are not here to claim that we're going to treat or cure anything. But when you reduce the inflammation in the body and you increase the stem cell production, of course, glutathione help to boost the immune system, detox the body. Those things work very well to help get the body back into balance. So that would be a great place to start. Yes, you can definitely wear multiple patches at the same time. I have 6 on right now. When I met David a year and a half ago, he had 12 on at one time. And I'm like, wait, we don't even have 12 patches that can be worn during the day. And he said, I know, some of them are experimental. Of course, he was still doing clinical studies on X49. It wasn't released at that time, but you can wear multiple patches throughout the day. You cannot wear silent nights for sleeping during the daytime. And you also cannot wear aloe vera during the daytime. Aloe vera is a patch that's for the outside for reverse aging, scars, lines, wrinkles, dark spots, acne, all that kind of stuff, but it reduces oxidative stress inside and it lengthens the telomeres, which determine the length of our life. And then someone asked, can we use X39 on children? So we have no clinical studies on children or pregnant or nursing women, of course. And so we cannot claim that you can use the patch on children. The first 2 people I patched were my children. So that's a personal choice. I always say this. It's a personal choice to take your child through McDonald's and get them a Happy Meal, burger, fries, and a Coke or a milkshake. That's a personal choice. Maybe not the best choice for your child's health and longevity and, life, but it is a choice. And so when we look at this technology, you have a choice as a parent to use this with your child or not, but knowing that there's nothing harmful, nothing toxic, no interactions or side effects or contraindications. I work with hundreds and thousands of moms that utilize this with their children. So that would be a personal choice that you have. Elizabeth, we put the website in there, startx39now.com. We have 2. You can go to startx39.com. It is not in multiple languages. And so we have created exact same site, except we've really updated it. StartX39, it's our global site. And so we do have multiple languages on there, and we're downloading new languages every week. So make sure you go check that out as well, too. And then for, reverse aging with GHK.com, that's a fabulous research study too. Dr. Lauren Picard, he has nothing to do with our company, but he has spent 5 decades doing clinical studies with the benefits of GHK-CU. So huge benefits. So I love this question. So does the process keep working or does it stop at some point? So we always say, stop using the patch when you want to start aging again. We know that this patch stops your aging process and reverses the functionality of your cells and tissues and organs in your body. So do you have to use this patch forever? No one wants to hear that they have to use something forever, but yet they do go to their doctor and they write a prescription for Lipitor or Protonix or, antidepressant, Zoloft, Xanax, whatever, I don't know. And they say, you're just going to use this for the rest of your life. You need this Synthroid forever. You're never going to be off of it. So just go refill your prescription every 30 days. And people do that without even batting an eye. And I like to make that comparison because I want you to understand that this is very different, obviously, than a medication. This is something that can actually help your body get to the root of the problem and help your body to repair and regenerate. This is regenerative medicine. And so David himself owns over 130 patents, and most all of them are in the area of regenerative medicine. And regenerative medicine is regenerating, reversing, repairing, restoring your cells and tissues and organs and their functionality. So let's say you're, Renee, I don't know, I can't see you. Let's say you're 60 years old and you use this patch, like we recommend, 1 month for every 10 years you are old. You use this patch for 6 months and your body will have regenerated up until that point, your cells and tissues and organs, maybe by 8 years, like some of us, right? Or maybe even more. And you can see this, of course, probably in the way you feel. Number one, your energy level, your vitality, and your quality of life. But you can also be able to see this in your blood work from your doctor, or maybe from your dentist, or maybe from your eye doctor. You'll see changes in your eyes, or maybe changes in your hearing, changes in your skin. And so if you decided after 6 months, you know what, I'm done with this patch, I don't want to use this anymore, you don't just go back to where you were before, when everything was a hot mess, when your grocery list was this long. when your body regenerates, it regenerates. It's made young and youthful again, right? And so you will start the aging process from that point, just how you would every single day, right? Your body is going to be in the degeneration phase, which is just what it is every day. Every day, from the second you're born, right? That's you're going to eventually pass. Your physical body is going to pass. And so we know that that degeneration starts to happen, especially, you know, after your 30s, 40s, when you're making, you know, less than half of those stem cells. And so you'll keep the progress that you had when you stop patching. But if you continue to patch, your body will literally, you can go get your biomarkers done, reverse back to age 25, and you will have the ability to live well past 150. That's what our studies show. That's what the research shows. That's what the data shows. And it's only going to get better from there with the things that David has already in line. He's an inventor. He's a scientist. He's a researcher. And so everything that he's done and is doing is nowhere else on the planet. This does not exist somewhere else. So keep in mind that what you're doing is literally revolutionary. We are 20 plus years ahead of the game, right? Maybe even more so. But know that the foundation is rooted in nature and 6,000-year-old traditional Chinese medicine. So when you look at our patches, you see that the placement is on acupuncture points, because these have been clinically studied on people on the points, on the meridians, and what they're doing to improve the functionality of the cells and organs. Is it worth someone to do in their 20s? I love this question, because when I was in California last year, and one of the first times I met David, someone asked that about young children, young people early, because they should still have plenty of stem cells, right? And he said, you know, I'll be honest with you, as far as X39 and Eon go, he said, if you would have asked me this 20 years ago, I would have said, absolutely not. These kids do not have inflammation. They don't need stem cell, regeneration. They don't need a bump in that area. He said, but today, with the toxins, the environment, the stress, what happens to kids, what they're exposed to, they definitely could use a good 90 days of this. And that would help them tremendously in all areas of their life. And so I thought, of course, about my son. Like I said, I patched my kids first. My son was 16 years old last year. And so I patched him with these two patches immediately for the first maybe 30 days. 30 days I used them on him. And then I started using the X39 and the carnosine with him. He is a basketball player and he lifts weights. And so this is for building lean muscle mass and recovery, repair. And of course, this is for endurance and stamina and energy on the court. He never has to take a break. And so those were the two patches I used on him first. Now, when X49 came out last year and X39 combo, I showed him the clinical studies and he said, I need that immediately. And he had massive gains in his first 30 days in the gym, massive squats, curls, bench press, deadlift, huge jumps. He's like, Mom, there's no way this could ever happen any other way. And I said, I know. That's what the clinical study shows that. So that's a personal choice, obviously, but will it benefit them? Absolutely, yes. So if we use the patches with half the backing still in place, will that reduce the efficacy by 50%? And can this same patch be used another day with full backing removed? Great question. So here's how this works. You take the patch out of the package, you take the back off, both sides, and you stick it on your body. We do not use half of it one day and half of it the next. We use the full patch, right? The patch is designed, the patches were created, and they were studied and clinically tested to be used like this. Not to be used half one day or half the next, or 6 hours one day and 6 hours the next. We put this either on the back of our neck, CV7, or below our belly button, and we leave it on 12 hours, and then we take it off and we throw it away. And that's what we do with it. So don't do half and half. That is not effective and is not going to work. If you start, do you have to continue? I already addressed that. So results are going to be whatever results you get whenever you decide to stop. So how are the patches different? That's a great question. So each patch, if you look at this white part, embedded in that white part is a crystal lattice structure. Okay, so I want to get technical with you here for a second. So the structure, it's not a crystal like a clear quartz crystal or an amethyst, right? My mom gave me some crystals today, and the amethyst was in there. So it's not like that at all. It is, I know my birthday's Friday, so she's like, oh, here's some crystals and some wind chimes. But it's not like that at all. This is a lattice structure, crystal lattice structure. And so it's made up of a group of amino acids, water, sugars, and oxygen. They're called chiral stereoisomers. Chiral means mirroring, right? Remember I said you put the patch on, our body's light reflects back or mirrors back a signal from the lattice that's embedded in the patch. And so each patch has a different combination, a different solution of chiral stereoisomers that make up different lattices. So they communicate with different peptides. So GHKCU is what X39 communicates with. AHKCU is what X49 communicates with. The Alavita communicates with the epithelium peptide that's in our pineal gland in our brain. So each patch communicates with different peptides in the body because it has a different solution of chiral stereoisomers that make up a different lattice, okay? So gut inflammation. Oh yeah, these patches definitely help with your gut. We can see huge improvements in inflammation, of course, and in the digestive system and the immune system, which is in your gut. Oh, thank you, Lillian, for putting that biomarker information in there. Oh my God, send that to me privately so I can start sending that to people that ask me about this. I'm like, I don't know, check with your naturopathic doctor. I don't do blood work. Best placement for energy enhancer. So each patch comes with its own instruction guide. You pick your spot. Try each of them. Try them all. You do whichever one works best for you. Your friend is aspirating. That's not good. So the esophagus is narrowing, not releasing all the food liquid into the stomach. Definitely use the X39 because it's stem cells, and stem cells go to work to repair everything. I don't know that it's going to work for him, but obviously you can't hurt him, and it can only help improve him by increasing his own stem cell production. I would definitely look at the Eon as well too. There's probably would help with inflammation in his body. What's the best order for the gold pack, starting with X39 on the back of the neck? So the best order for the gold pack, that's going to depend on what you need, right? And so how long you want to use the patches. So you would talk to the person, Jenna, that invited you here, and they can help you get set up with whatever you need inside of that pack. It is definitely okay to use glutathione, X39, Eon, and carnosine during the day. You can also use glutathione, Eon, and carnosine at night, but you cannot use X39 at night. It is not a nighttime patch at all. Use that one during the day. It causes energy. It helps with mental energy, physical energy. You don't want to use that in sleep. But the YH series, glutathione, carnosine, and Eon can be day or night. I choose to wear mine during the day. Some people like theirs at night. It's a personal choice. Info, so Milena, get back with the person that invited you. They can share with you a patch summary sheet. That patch summary has the location of every patch that you can, where you can apply it, as well as a little summary of each one too. As far as skin reduction, so we don't have anything to per se shrink the skin, but you can see more benefits using the X39 and Alavita. X39 signals collagen production, and we know collagen is the glue that holds the body together. It has to do everything with your skin, right? Collagen, elastin. So you can definitely use X39 and Alavita. Alavita is for the skin. It's reverse aging for the skin. So I'm not going to say that it's going to tighten or reduce the skin, but we do see less creping, less sagging. We do see improvements in the color of the skin, the texture of the skin, and also the feel, I don't want to say it's going to get rid of your bat wings. We're going to, I'm not going to say that, but this will definitely help with all things skin. Do we still need our supplements during the patch? So don't stop doing anything that you're currently doing. If you're using supplements, you can continue using supplements. Laura, my friend that's on here, we were able to muscle test her within maybe 30, 60 days. I don't remember now, after she had a tub of supplements, and we were able to muscle test her and be able to eliminate all but 2 of her supplements from using the patches. So that saves a lot in money, of course, but I'm not saying to stop anything. You know, check with the person that recommended or prescribed those supplements to you, whether you may or may not need them. Hopefully they're being tested on a pretty regular basis to know if you still need them or not. Children, again, are your personal choice. Mine were 16 and 18 when I started using the patches. And again, with different types of disabilities, it would be your personal choice. But I've worked with parents with children with all different types of disabilities. My daughter was in a wheelchair for 15 years, required full care. So the patches can definitely benefit in many different ways. When you look at the brain, I will just talk about the brain. You would use the X39, the Eon, and the carnosine as well. And that's what I used on my daughter. I used X39 and Eon every day. And I actually used carnosine at night with her below her belly button. So this is our brain protocol to improve the functionality of your brain, no matter what your age is. We're going to improve processing time. We're going to help with balancing left brain, right brain hemisphere, improving cognition, communication. This is your brain protocol. How soon do you feel the defects of Nirvana? Well, Nirvana increases beta endorphins. It is our mood balancing, mood stabilizing patch. So it definitely helps with anxiety, stress, depression, worry, fear, resentment, all those detrimental emotions. But it does work with the neurotransmitters and neurohormones in your brain. So a lot of people do notice a difference in about 15 to 30 minutes with a more calm, blissful state. We call it our bliss patch. The beta endorphins, they induce that inside of your body. We have beta endorphins. It just signals your body to increase those beta endorphins. So we see a difference in about 15 to 30 minutes. Some people use that day, and some people use that at night. Nirvana also has a supplement that comes with it. It's the only supplement our company has, and that supplement works with this patch if you decide to increase those benefits. And also increasing beta endorphins is a natural pain reliever, which is fantastic. Oh, I love that, Lillian. We bathe daily forever, brush our teeth forever, eat every day forever, exercise, use all different types of modalities to keep our bodies healthy and well, right? So not going to specifically speak to ulcerative colitis, but when we look at the gut, the intestines, obviously you want to start here, right? You want to increase your stem cell, reduce your inflammation, and definitely looking at the glutathione, which is that master antioxidant and immune booster, detoxer, and that would be very beneficial. We're looking at the digestive system in whole. So looking at the heart, we're going to look at some of us about cholesterol meds. No, I can't say that it cures STDs known to be permanent. I can definitely not say that. It cannot hurt you to try to improve the STD, but I cannot say that it's going to cure that. And of course, we have no clinical studies on STDs because we don't have clinical studies on any diseases. But when you're looking at the heart, Renee, you would look at X39. You would look at Eon and carnosine, as well as you could use X49. We see in clinical studies just these two alone drop the systolic and diastolic blood pressure in 60 days. So these all have massive benefits for the heart. This reduces an inflammatory marker called fibrinogen, which is a direct relation to coronary artery disease, not cholesterol. So you would want to make sure your fibrinogen is nice and low. It's a blood clotting factor, right? So we can see in clinical studies with carnosine, removing plaque in the arteries, which is super important. So I would definitely look at these patches right here. And you can just use this one. Remember the clinical studies? Every 6 weeks, your heart, your entire vascular system is functioning literally 8 weeks younger. And we can see this. You can get with a person that invited you. They can share with you testimonials of people that have had high cholesterol, that have had heart disease, that have pacemakers, that have had stents, bypasses, that have had high blood pressure. They can share anything and everything to do with the heart with you, with people talking about their heart and using this technology to be able to improve the functionality of their heart. Oh, that's a great question. So there's nothing that will show up on a drug test or a fitness test because there's nothing going into the body. So this is not your CBD, THC. There will be nothing showing up in urine or drug pop-up test or anything like that. So not at all. This is light technology. It's called photobiomodulation. Cost, that's a great question, Sally. So you have an option to purchase retail. It's $150 for a month's supply of the X39. It is $80 for a month's supply of a supportive patch. So that's $230 for a month's supply. You can get a wholesale pack. It doesn't cost you anything. We start with the wholesale pack called Silver. It's $299. You can get 2 months of X39 and 2 months of Eon for $299. So you can get 1 month for $230, or you can get 2 months of each for $299. So of course, everybody goes with the wholesale pack. Why would you buy retail when you have the ability to pay wholesale? Somebody earlier was asking about the gold pack. The gold pack is $499, and you can get 5.5 months of patches. And I say 5.5 months because the X39 and X49 are worth 1. These are each worth 1, okay? And so if X39 is worth 1, our supportive patches are worth half. And so you can get, let's say you get 4 of these, okay? In your gold pack, you can get 1 of each of these, and you can get 1 of these. So in a gold pack, you get 5.5. So if I had 4, these 2 make 5, and that makes the 0.5. Okay, but you can mix and match however you want. You can get 1 of these, and you can get all the rest in supportive patches. That's the beautiful thing about these wholesale packs. You get to customize your pack based on what your needs are. Now, we can share with you, we have a special order form that is for practitioners only. And of course, if you're not a practitioner, we can still share this information with you. But that form shows you different protocols. And so you can see, oh, I need the brain protocol. I need the detox protocol. I need the immune system protocol. I need the pain protocol. I need the sleep protocol. I need the hormone balancing protocol. And you can pick that protocol that works best for you. And of course, you can mix and match those patches inside of that. Oh, gosh. Okay. So, wow. And her fentanyl patch. So she was able to improve her quality with the stem cell patch. That's fantastic. Love it. Okay, so on medication for cholesterol and high blood pressure. So when should I stop taking them while on the patches? No, absolutely. Use your medications. Do not stop taking any medicine at all. No, 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 no. Definitely do not ever stop medications. Work with your healthcare provider. Monitor, of course, your cholesterol and your blood pressure. You can monitor your blood pressure at home. Monitor those things and make adjustments based on those monitorings. Whether you're doing that at home, talk with your physician if you notice your blood pressure has come down, which is very common, that people experience their blood pressure coming back to normal and are able to even wean off of their medication. But talk to your doctor. Please do not stop anything at all. And what if you forget a patch? You're going to turn into a pumpkin. You'll literally turn into a pumpkin if you forget a patch. It's over for you. No, I'm joking. So maybe you think that's funny, maybe not. I don't know. But if you forget a patch, it's okay. Just patch again the next day. What if you forget to take the patch off? We've all done that where we'll wake up in the morning. We're like, no, I forgot. You just have to skip that day. You can patch again the next day. It's no big deal. Is SB6 and X49 a good combo? So you always want to start with X39. You can definitely use X49 and you can use SB6, building lean muscle mass, bone density, increasing the stem cells, reducing body fat, putting your endocrine system in balance, your organs in balance. It's a fantastic combo, but you always start with the X39 stem cell activation patch. That is your foundation for everything. The X49 does not do what the X39 does. All right. Thanks, Mariana. I appreciate that. So why do they expire if they're crystal lattice? So that crystal lattice structure is going to stay in place for about 2 years. This is a 30-day supply. So you're going to need another one next month, right? So you're definitely not going to let it sit there for 2 years. So the lattice structure is such, again, it's a solution of chiral stereoisomers. And so that solution stays together for about 2 years. We don't have time for muscle testing tonight, though, but that's a fantastic question. Can I demonstrate it? We would have to actually have a communication with somebody, right? I can do it proxy, no big deal, super simple, easy and fast, but don't have time for that on here. I want to make sure I get these questions answered. Oh, good. Brain protocol. Fantastic. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are so sweet. How do the patches help with knees? Very old knees. So again, we want to reduce inflammation in our body. We want to increase our stem cell production. That's going to give the body what it needs to help to repair and regenerate. If you have pain, we can use a patch called Icewave. I only have this booklet. I have AccuLife, which is the exact same thing. I've given all my Icewave out. I'm waiting for my order to come in. But the Icewave and AccuLife are identical. This one's licensed for people. This one's licensed for pets, horses, cows, cats, dogs. So this is licensed for veterinary use. You can't have something licensed for pets that's licensed for humans. But they're identical. There's nothing different, literally nothing different. I patch my husband all the time when he goes golfing with the AccuLife on his ankles. So you would use this patch, the Icewave or AccuLife, it doesn't matter, honestly. It has two patches. It works with the polarity of your body, white right, tan left. So if your knees hurt, you would put the white one on your right knee and the tan one on your left knee in the same spot. It's going to open up energy channels and eliminate pain on the spot. It does not get rid of your problem, right? We have to address the problem. We need to get to the root of the problem. You may also benefit from glutathione, which helps coat your joints, right? Gets things kind of lubricated. We call it our liquid gold. So, thank you. I plan on having a fantastic birthday. Hair loss. So X39 has always been our fantastic one for hair growth. But guess what? Clinical studies from these two show that the hair growth was more significant, substantial, and better, faster, even more so than minoxidil. So definitely these two grow your hair like literally a chia pet. And we have pictures to prove that. As I mentioned at the very beginning, Phoenix, I am a doctor of integrative medicine. So I focus on all different types of holistic modalities. And I'm about finished with my doctorate in functional medicine as well, too. So yes, definitely. You can start using the X39 and X49 at the same time. Yes. And you can put on the Eon at the same time. And you can put on the carnosine and the glutathione. You can have all of these on all day long. And you can take them off and throw your Alavita on at night before you go to bed. You can do all of that. You can mix and match. You can start slow. If you just want to start with one patch only, you can. You can definitely do that. I only had this last year. That I found this at a wellness center, local. I was doing some breath work meditation for a man that had a fitness recovery center for athletes. He's a tennis pro coach. And I walked in to, do all the stuff for him. He was videoing, recording, la, la, la. And on the way out the door, I see this in a case and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's our stem cell activation patch. I'm like, oh, I need that right now. I don't even know what that is. I didn't know that existed. And he said, oh, it's just been out for like a year and a half. I'm like, give it to me right now. I walked out the door retail with this. I didn't know anything about it other than it increased the body's stem cells. And he showed me his Whoop and his metrics and, recovery, anxiety, sleep, all that stuff. La, la, la. I was like, that's fantastic. I'm happy for you. Give me this. I need this for my child right now. I've done stem cell therapy with her for over 10 years. And so I put this on her immediately, right? I didn't have anything else. Didn't know about anything else. Well, at the same time, my good friend April was calling me going, Stacy, I've been in a wheelchair. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I'm supposed to be in the hospital right now. I can't get up. I can't move. My hands are crumpled. I'm miserable in pain. I couldn't even go down the aisle at my daughter's wedding. And I found this technology, and now I'm perfectly fine. Like literally 7 days later, I've got to tell you about this for Taylor. And I'm like, give me the link. I'll order it. And she's like, no, we got to get on the phone. So we get on the phone. Okay, we're talking on the phone. Come to find out, it's this right here was the exact same thing that she was using, and she was using the Eon at the same time. 7 days later, and she's out of the wheelchair. She's sleeping through the night. She's no longer crumpled up in pain, and she's walking. And I'm like, that is a sign right there. I go totally by like alignment. Things are happening for a reason. And so the earth stopped on its axis, the seas parted, and enter LifeWave into my life. So of course I signed up with April. I placed an order for a diamond pack. I wanted everything. And I started my daughter on these two. I got them in, of course, 2 days later, this came in, and I started her on this right away, right afterwards. And then of course, carnosine came in the week after that. So you can definitely multi-patch the patches. I wanted them for all the people in our family. You do not need 2 of the same patches. There's no point in doing that. You're going to get about a 20% increase, maybe at best. And again, the money, not worth it. David says definitely not worth that. Just use one every single day. If you have an acute injury, like Laura had a hip replacement, so she double patched these 2 right after her surgery, and she weighs like $105 soaking wet, so she should have been bruised from hip to ankle. She had 0 bruises, nothing, right? And you can not even barely see the scar, like literally a teeny tiny fine line. Like I said, she's almost 60. So these 2 happened immediately as soon as she got out of surgery, and she double patched them as well too. I know when my son twisted his ankle, sprained his ankle at basketball, I used multiple patches of these on his ankle, had him back on the court in 7 days. 0 effects from a sprain. The sprain is typically worse than a bruise or a break. Thank you, Lillian, for posting that. That would be fantastic. So if I do the preferred customer, can I cancel at any time? So here's the thing with preferred customer. Get with the person that invited you. Preferred customer, I don't do preferred customer. I do have doctors, physicians, practitioners that have offices that sign their clients up on preferred customer programs because they either buy retail from the office or they want a little bit of a discount. And I'll tell you why. Preferred customer is a $19.95 fee. So you're paying a fee. And then you're set up on that auto ship for 6 months for those patches, whatever you're getting. Now, of course, when you buy a wholesale pack, you can have a monthly subscription, of course, to be able to get that wholesale price for the patches you want. But a lot of people don't like that set amount of time. They want to have freedom and flexibility with what they order, when they order, and always making sure they get it at the best price without any fees. But if you do sign up as a preferred customer, then yes, you can cancel and sign up as a wholesale customer if you would prefer to have a wholesale account. But I find that people don't, even though we use the technology, most of us use it way past 6 months. People want that freedom and flexibility to order whatever they want. And there we have packages, wholesale price. We have packages, maintenance packages. So you can get free patches, and we can help you get different promos to be able to earn free patches as well too. So we prefer the wholesale packs. So shoulders frozen, what patches could you use? So definitely the X39, the Eon for sure, get things moving, glutathione. Probably IceWave would be really beneficial. Open up those energy channels, get things moving that way. Can your skin change using only the X39, or do you need the nighttime as well? No, for me personally, just using the X39, I had people notice within just a couple weeks. My husband noticed, my chiropractor noticed. One of my friends at a networking group I go to, she's like, what's going on with your skin? Something's different in just a couple weeks. And I hadn't added the aloe vera yet. So you can definitely get the benefits just with the X39 as well too. Perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? I know we have 1 minute left.
I have a question.
Yes, Robert?
Yes. This is circling back to one other question that you had, and it maybe wasn't you, but somebody else on one of these Zooms said that you could titrate by leaving part of the paper backing on. Now that might be talking about IceWave, but, and I know David, shows demonstrations where IceWave works through the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't understand if you're titrating it, cutting the dosage in half basically by leaving half the paper backing on. And if it works through the clothing, why doesn't it go through the paper too at the same time?
That's a great question.
I couldn't understand why they're saying, oh, you can titrate it by leaving half of the patch on if the effect is too strong for the person.
So we don't typically use the word titrate with this because it's not a medication. And so we're not titrating something up or down. So that's not a terminology that David uses or that we use when we're talking about this technology. So we're not trying to just slowly, if you want to slowly introduce something, for example, like with carnosine, you can do that every other night, glutathione every other night, but there's not a dosing amount in the patch. And so, yes, when you pick up the patch and it has the back on it, I understand what you're saying about using half of it. And that's again, what's the point of using half of it? It's on your body, it's on your body. And same thing if it's on the inside of your jacket and it's backwards, right? Touching your skin. If you stick this in your pocket, you're still getting all of the effectiveness of it. So there's no point in taking half of it off and sticking it on. Because like you said, and that's not titrating it by doing that. This is not something we talk about or not something we do, because it's still right here on my body. My body's heat or light is communicating with it, whether the back is on it or not. So like I said, I could literally put this in my pocket, which we always tell people if we give them a patch, don't put this in your pocket. It's going to start working immediately. Sometimes if it's late in the day, you know, you don't want to use the X39 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Wait till tomorrow morning, but don't put it in your pocket. We store them either in a pack or in maybe a Ziploc baggie. You would put that, you know, inside of an envelope, inside of your purse or your bag. But definitely not titrating using the amount. If you want to use it for less time, some people do that. Again, not recommended, but if you feel like energetic wise, like you're sensitive, and some people are, and you say, okay, this is a little too much for me, take it off the back of your neck and put it below your belly button. Most people find that they're not sensitive below their belly button at all compared to the back of the neck. If you're looking at energetic wise, they can tell differences right away. I do a lot of events, as does Lillian, with you know, different biohackers and energy workers and holistic people and people that are into all different types of modalities, and they're very in tune and aware of the body and what's going on inside. And so they can feel things pretty quickly, a lot of them. And so moving from the back of the neck to below the belly button would be something to where you don't feel the effects maybe as much, but definitely half of it's not going to do anything. So I love that you brought that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you all for being on here this evening. I am happy you're here, grateful you're here. Hopefully you learned something, and of course, get back with the person that invited you. They can help you get set up with whatever packages or patches you need or want. If you have further questions, please ask them. Every person on here is connected to me, obviously, and they're connected to their leaders in their organization, and we all work very closely together to help each other make sure that we all have the best quality of life and the best success in helping you in what you're doing. So happy 25th birthday. Thank you, Dawn. 25 again. You don't know how many years I said that before I found LifeWave, and my husband thought I was crazy, and I'm like, and I manifested it. Look how that worked. I literally said it for years. All right, you guys have a fantastic evening.